I walked off the plane into the immaculate Incheon airport, very excited to use the bathroom and flush my toilet paper, as this joy had not been afforded me in Vietnam. As it turned out, this joy was only to be afforded me about 50% of the time in Korea, and one was never really sure when they could or couldn't flush. Anyway, I made my way toward immigration, and the first screen I saw in this great nation was playing an ad for Botox. I had been on a red-eye, and one thing about me is that if I have just come off of a red-eye, I will spend my time in the immigration line having the meanest thoughts about every other person in line for absolutely no reason other than lack of sleep. I was judging the girls in front of me for having keychains with pictures of their K-pop idols hanging off of their purses, until I remembered that in my backpack at that very moment was a Happy Meal toy fashioned in the likeness of Kim Seok-jin himself. But more on that later. Because the entire nation of Korea is so beautifully and thoughtfully designed, I had thought Incheon Airport might have facilities where I could take a shower and a nap. I did some research ahead of time and discovered that this was true. However, I also saw evidence to suggest that these facilities were for departing passengers only. However, I blocked this out because I didn't want it to be true. Cut to me tromping through the airport exhibiting shower-seeking behaviors, but to no avail. I could not outrun the truth. However, it was like 7 a.m., and I couldn't check into the Airbnb until 3. There was a spa facility in the basement where one could shower and nap for a nominal fee. Now, I knew all about Korean spas from watching Chris Fleming's stand-up comedy special, so I knew I was at risk of getting myself into a public nudity situation. I read some Google reviews, and one person mentioned private shower rooms, so I figured there would be some naked locations, but that I could avoid them. Well, since this story made it into the vlog, you can imagine what happened. At first, all seemed safe. I was given an orange shirt and some shorts to change into, just like in a Kdrama, and then was sent to the lockers. I was a bit confused about when to take off my shoes and also where they went, and I definitely think the girls at the front desk hated me, but I persevered because I'd already given them 15,000 won, so there was no running away now. I entered the women's locker room, and I should have known I was out of my depth because I was the only non-Korean there. I tried to walk into the shower area with my regular clothes on, only to be blocked by the cleaning lady who told me I must change. Whether that meant I must put on the orange loungewear or disrobe entirely was unclear. Dear God, what have I done, thought I. I found a bathroom stall and changed into my orange outfit. There were vanity areas all around the room, and I positioned myself at one from whence I could see the door to the shower area in the mirror. I was going to have to wait for someone to emerge and see what amount of clothing they had on, but I also had to be discreet about it lest I be thought a perv, hence the mirror. I pretended to be attending to my appearance until the sliding door opened, and viewer, I regret to inform you that the person I saw emerging from the great beyond was wearing nothing but the skin God gave her. Help me, Jesus. I knew that making the nude sprint from my locker to the shower area was simply not in the cards. At this point, I was near tears. I wanted to give up, but then the girls at the front desk would know I couldn't hack it. And also, I'd paid 15,000 won to be here, and I couldn't let that go down the drain. Also, if I didn't hang out in here all day, what was I supposed to do until check-in on the cold streets of Seoul on no sleep? I must persevere. Suddenly, I remembered I had been given a towel with my loungewear. I rushed to collect it, deciding I would disrobe in the toilet stall, wrap myself in the towel, and slither into the shower area while the cleaning lady had her back turned. However, once in the toilet stall, I discovered that I had been given not one body-sized towel, but 2 hand towels. I hate this country, I murmured to myself. I angrily put my shorts and t-shirt back on and returned to square one. I was literally just poking around in my locker so I would appear purposeful and confident to the other inhabitants of the locker room, when I suddenly recalled that I had a travel towel with me. However, it was in my backpack, which was out in the lobby. What if the scary front desk girls yelled at me for digging around in my own backpack? I don't know what the rules are. Still, my options were the embarrassment of getting in trouble or the embarrassment of public nudity, so I went out to face the receptionists. I thought they had moved my bag, so I asked where it was, and they were like, "It's literally right there on the floor where you left it, idiot." That's my paraphrase, but that was the vibe anyway. At last, deliverance. I found my towel, secreted it back into the locker room, just in case that was forbidden, and at last I made it into the shower, which, true to the Google reviews, had a door. I emerged fresh and clean and then made my way to the lounge area, where I situated myself on one of the little mats and had a 2-hour nap. So Korean, so cultured, so brave. I got on the airport metro into the city, fully clothed and feeling confident. "Excuse me," said the man sitting across from me. I waited for him to say, "Welcome to Korea, and may I say, you are the prettiest foreigner ever to ride this train." "Excuse me," he said, "your fly is undone." I got off at Seoul Station, and just in case my humiliations were not complete, I got on the bus going the wrong direction. I was also mad about being on a bus at all because I got spoiled in Vietnam by my private motorbike chauffeurs. Anyway, I got to the Airbnb after some brief confusion and accidentally entering the neighboring hostel. The Airbnb, I am pleased to report, was amazing. The Ajimas and Anis arrived late in the evening in their private airport taxi vans, and then after a quick convenience store dinner, to bed we did retire.
Which one should I?
You could have been swooped out of danger.
I am gonna be fucking really
Airport. The first glimpse of a new horizon. Bless this gathering of sisters, of cousins, of
big time. Which one's sugar?
With the coral colored sweater on.
Then J-Hope. Is this Jimin? No. Is this
Jimin's the red-headed one. That's B.
Okay, we got them in order of the chant. Kim Namjoon. Kim Ho
Seokjin.
Seokjin. Kim Seokjin. Min Yoongi. Jung Jungkook. No. Hosok. That's Hosok. Is it Jung? Jung Hosok.
Park Jimin.
Park Jimin. I'm not
Kim
there.
Taehyung.
Kim Taehyung. Jung Jungkook.
Who is everyone's? I'm Jungkook. Who is everyone else's?
We got breakfast sandwiches from Isaac Toast, which were good but took a long time. Once everyone was awake and gathered, we went out to explore Myeongdong. This is as good a time as any to explain that, upon realizing there were 7 of us, and there are 7 members of BTS,
There are 4 of us. If we will find a lady.
I decided to assign everyone as the member I felt they most resembled, / who they got on the BuzzFeed quiz I sent in the group chat. Here is the breakdown. Alyssa is RM because she is a natural-born leader, and because they both have a homeschooled aura despite not actually having been homeschooled. I'm Jin because my greatest joy in life is having a silly little time with my friends. Auntie Beth is Suga because she seems intimidating but is actually just full of emotions. Auntie Leah is J-Hope because she brings the party wherever she goes, and also he's her favorite, and I think she would have harmed me if I didn't let her be him. Mom is Jimin because they are both gentle spirits, and it's my greatest wish to set them both free to frolic in a meadow somewhere. Auntie Lynn is V because she's usually not paying attention, but is still the most likely of any of us to be drafted into special forces. And Corrie is Jungkook because she has beautiful brown eyes, and because she paved the way for her younger cousins in the piercings department.
Okay.
Kim. No, Kim.
Kim Seokjin.
Is it J-Hope next?
J-Hope is next.
It ain't me.
I'm left.
Park Jimin. No, I'm not. Oh, I'm not.
You're-
It is me. Sorry.
What is this?
Jimin. Kim Taehyung.
Yes.
Okay, one more.
Look at him. Watch out,
I
everybody.
had to move out of his way.
Well, you should have let yourself get hit.
Why didn't I just stand there filming?
You could have been swooped out of danger. We're in the way. He's staff.
This is gonna overflow. because banana is the legit.
Yeah, exactly. So Alyssa had a banana.
Our main event on this day was to visit a beauty parlor to get spa treatments done. Now, you needn't worry about me because I was broke and got only a simple head spa treatment done, which meant sitting in the hairdresser's chair, fully clothed, plus the additional coverage of the hairdresser's cape. The ajumas, however, were, by their own account, taken into a back room, stripped, and beaten. Now, it is worth noting that the ajumas have a gift for hyperbolic narrative, but it did appear that this was a massage somewhat too vigorous for their liking. The unnies had a perfectly fine time, and at this point in the trip were so far the only ones without a traumatic spa experience. But never fear, gentle viewer, the trip had just begun.
하늘은 주황색 침대 위에 나만 어색해 하루를 까먹은 나 그래도 좋을 날 적당한 햇살이 완벽해 손끝 하나 둘 건들지 마 침대 위날 숨은 쉬니까 걱정 마 울리는 휴대폰에 사뿐히 지려 밟은 채 아둥바둥 하루가 지나고
I've lost the rhythm.
뒤돌아보니 난 영혼이 없어 할 일 없이 숨만 쉬는 내가 세상에서 제일 행복해 잠시 떠나야겠어
Kim Tae-young. I know. I know Kim Tae-young.
BTS.
I'm like, right now, I am gonna be black and blue tomorrow, y'all. I am. I think it's really good. I think our lint is gone. No lint is left. They moved Lynn's dead over. Then pretty soon they were bringing a cart in. I see what was happening. I hear this crash, rattle, bang. I thought pretty soon I was gonna smell a steak on the fire. Can you tell me how to do this?
Mom, is this your napkin pile?
You want to see mine? And Julia, the house is there.
Oh, 2 bowls.
But look at you. How did you guys manage with this amount of napkins? My fingers was part of my problem. I didn't.
As we walked down our street, an old lady in front of us fell over. We all rushed to attend to her while her husband stood there and did nothing. Unthinkable. Hardly a K-drama leading man. We went to go check out Gwanghwamun Square, where they were setting up for the BTS concert. On our way, we saw a man drunk out of his mind swaying down the street. To be fair, that did look like something out of a K-drama.
Jin and Jimin. The last one is Jimin. Yeah.
So much fun.
You want my destiny. You want my destiny.
May God bless the construction workers that built the stage for BTS to dance upon. In Jesus' name, amen. Here's my lunch. And then sponsored by Kopiko. And here is the land. Not of my ancestors, but of somebody's ancestors.
Since I had already been on a DMZ tour, I skipped this time and climbed Baegundae Peak instead. My goodness, was it harrowing. The last 0.3 kilometers is sheer smooth rock. They've drilled railings into the rock all the way up to the summit so you can haul yourself up. Going up was really fun, but I got really nervous thinking about going down. Once I got started, it was okay. I don't have much else to report, except that as I was ascending, before I got to the Parallel Bars Championship and it was still normal hiking, I crossed paths with a man walking backwards down the stairs. Would love to know more. Since I didn't go to the DMZ, I've asked Corrie to describe the adventures the rest of the group got up to.
The DMZ was our first guided tour and was very interesting and moving. We were whisked through the stops at the speed of light by our guide, Chloe. The Korean efficiency is sneaky. They are so subtle about it that you hardly notice you are being moved more swiftly than you have ever moved before. Our first stop was a suspension bridge. To this day, we do not know what this had to do with the DMZ. It was simply a place of excellent views and to tire us out. We had to scale a large mountain, with no chance of Captain Ree being at the top to rescue us. There were, however, some very interesting World War II bunkers in which we bunked for many a photo. At this point, we realized that all our training leading up to this trip was insufficient, and we were not equipped to handle the terrain Korea had to throw at us. Devastating news so early in the trip. The walk to the suspension bridge was called the Moonwalk due to a very large and beautiful moon statue at the end of it. The DMZ was a very poignant and sobering experience. We learned more about how deeply the divide affects Koreans and how it separates not only the country but also families. We stopped at Peace Park, which includes Freedom Bridge, crossed by 13,000 prisoners of war on their way to freedom. It also included the last train stop in South Korea. The most moving for me were the statues honoring the over 100,000 women and girls used as sex slaves or comfort women during the Japanese occupation. The statues have empty chairs next to them where you can sit in solidarity with the women. The statues were wrapped in warm hats and coats placed by kindly visitors. A very emotional time. We also saw Cowbridge. The founder of Hyundai was a North Korean who stole a cow from his father to fund his journey to South Korea. When he eventually became extremely rich, he sent his dad 1,000 cows back over the bridge. Excellent PR for Hyundai. Not so hot for North Korea. We also heard from a real North Korean defector. We could not film her for her own safety. She paid $9,000 to Chinese traders to be smuggled out of North Korea. Her story was full of pain, struggle, and loss, but she has lived a happy and peaceful life in South Korea for 10 years. At the end of her talk, she touched finger hearts to many of us, so we have touched a real North Korean defector. We were then whisked to a lunch spot where many other tourists were also being whisked. As soon as one bus load left, another load was delivered. The restaurant was a small hole-in-the-wall buffet designed for speed. The food was enjoyed very much by all. Finally, we were whisked to the DMZ itself. We were not allowed to take pictures at all, and if you even had your phone out, you would be in big trouble. We do, however, have some pictures from Chloe taken before pictures were banned due to deteriorating relationships between North and South. At the viewpoint looking over North Korea, we could see the North and South Korean flags competing for glory opposite each other. The two sides battled over who would have the tallest and biggest flag until South Korea said, "Fine. We have BTS, Samsung, and Freedom. You can have the tallest flag." Ironically, the North Korean flag was so big that it didn't flap in the breeze and so was barely visible, while the South Korean flag flew majestically. We also saw a North Korean bulldozer operating, no doubt building something nefarious. We were then able to go down into a tunnel dug by the North Koreans for sneaking. During the digging, one of the North Korean engineers defected. So the North Koreans thought, let's just put a pin in this, and so waited for 3 years before resuming their sneaking. However, the smart and elegant South Koreans devised some sort of system involving tubes and water and anti-sneaking mechanisms that would signal if the North Koreans continued their sneaking at any point. Therefore, they were able to stop the North Koreans and say, "Why the sneaking?" The North Koreans said, "We are simply coal mining. Look, here is our coal dust," and sneakily smeared coal dust onto the walls of their tunnel, which you can still rub off with your fingers today. The descent into the tunnel was a ramp with a slope of 11 degrees, which doesn't seem like much until you see it with your eyes and feel it with your legs. It also appeared to be the longest ramp that has ever existed. As we walked down, the thought of the return climb was almost too great to bear. It was, however, very interesting to see and experience the moist, dripping tunnel. The walk back up was as upsetting as anticipated, but we prevailed. At the very end, we were able to take photos in front of the iconic DMZ sign. There was also another very moving statue of children pushing two halves of an orb together. In the middle of the split orb was the outlines of North and South Korea, representing the hope that one day the two countries will again be unified.
Without a ticket, you could cry and beg on your knees, and they'd be like, give us 90 francs right now.
We then ended the day with delicious Korean fried chicken.
난 너에게 여기 다 지워질까봐 마음에 새겨둬 나를 볼 수 없게 될까봐 시간이 늘 두려워 다시 너를 찾아봐 또
Sir, do you have a driver's license?
Emily is.
Kyrie and win. Yes, you do. Okay, so I want one.
Emily, stop. You're making fun of your aunts and your mother.
Swappity doo dah, swappity doo dah, swippity da doo. Why isn't it swapping? It's because the ding dang internet. I got one more. We can use you for us. No, she can't get off of where she is.
Well, yes, I
waiting
can.
for a phone call. I know I know how to do it. It just won't. Swap.
What's the number?
28. Working at their office. But the one is facing us, so don't.
I will.
Casual.
If you stand here, the other guy can't see you.
Are you sure? Okay, see that one right there? He's got his right side to us.
Where are my benches at?
One thing I came to appreciate about Korea is how quiet it is. Even in the center of Seoul, it's really not noisy. People don't honk their car horns in traffic. The expectation on the train is that everyone will be silent. I love this for the rest of the passengers, but I like to yap. Still, I restrained myself. They do not play about keeping the train quiet either. A man took a phone call inside the compartment and was promptly escorted to the little no-man's land between carriages where the Rasputin demons do their mischief. Meanwhile, we were getting up to this nonsense. When the train attendant walked by, I was terrified that we were going to be cast into outer darkness. It was also so hot on the train. I am perpetually cold, and even after casting off coat and sweater, I was still burning up. So far, our day had all gone according to plan. We made it to the station, and on and off the train without mishap. From this point on, all is chaos, so lock in. We had arranged, or so we thought, for our Airbnb host to pick us up from the train station. With some difficulty, we found the meeting point, and a lady in a tiny 4-seater car rolled up and just starts putting our bags in her back seat. Now, we are lucky this wasn't a robbery, because we just sort of stood there and watched it happen. As it turned out, our host seemed to have thought she was just supposed to take our bags and not us. There was a major language barrier, and so we will never fully understand what was going on until we get to heaven. It is at last arranged that the Unis and I will go with our host and her tiny Pomeranian, and a taxi will be called for the Ajimas. This worked out perfectly, because there are 6 things the Ajimas hate, 7 things that are detestable to them, and one of those is being stuck in a car with a dog. The chaos continued. Corrie described our Airbnb as being on top of a mountain. She was not far from wrong. It was certainly a fur piece up one of the steepest hills I've ever encountered. The accommodation was not as nice as the pictures and reviews had led us to believe. If you watched my previous vlog, you know that my friend Lexi, survivor of the fire swamp, was cool with our disappointing accommodation and refused my request that she would honor kill me for my failure in booking it. Well, around this time, I was wishing she had. Now keep in mind, this is an accommodation I would have stayed in alone and been totally fine with. It could have been cleaner, but it also could have been dirtier. And also keep in mind, no one was to blame here. Corrie had been the one to actually pull the trigger with the booking, but we all saw the listing and agreed that it was the one. However, I was yet again in a situation where I had to watch my mother, baby Mochi herself, put up with subpar lodgings and on her once-in-a-lifetime Korea trip, too. This was not to be borne. Except that it was to be borne, because we didn't really have a choice. The house was divided into 2 apartments, so the Ajumas took the downstairs and the Unnies and I took the upstairs. The Unnies and I held hands in a circle and unburdened our souls to each other about our guilt, fear, shame, and concerns over cleanliness, and then we simply had to transcend our pathologies and practice radical acceptance. Much inner work was done in the upstairs apartment in Busan that day. Despite all of this, our host was very sweet, if extremely chaotic. She got us settled in, then took us to dinner. She helped us order, then bounded off somewhere. We asked if she wanted to join for dinner, of course, but she had places to bound. She returned after dinner, moving as she always did, at a brisk jog, and took us to the grocery store. Here she recommended her favorite snacks so insistently that we were left with no choice but to buy them. Then up the mountain we went and parked on our usual sharp incline. All the groceries were in a Costco-style cardboard crate, and when she opened her trunk on the hill, everything came tumbling out. The eggs were miraculously okay, but a single strawberry went rolling down the hill with the tiny dog bounding after it. Having spent the entire day running a low-grade background tab of psychological stress, witnessing this made something in my brain snap, and to this day I am convinced it was the funniest thing I have ever witnessed.
Much to think about, much to consider. Ready?
Kim Namjoon,
Kim Seok-jin.
Min Yoongi, Jung Ho-suk, Park Ji-min,
Kim Tae-young.
Young Jung-kook.
BTS.
Having survived not being able to figure out how the boiler worked and taking showers of various temperatures, we started our day at the art museum. It was a sort of 4D Instagrammable experience, and it was very cool. I've been referring to my aunties as the Ajumas, but in this waterfall room, we encountered some actual Ajumas, that is, middle-aged Korean women, who were afraid to go in, and Auntie Beth helped guide them through. She and Auntie Leah have been taking Korean lessons for a while now, so she was often making a new friend when we were out and about. In the tornado room, Mom confessed that she'd hoped she'd feel like she was in danger while she was in there, and she was disappointed. Meanwhile, Auntie Lynn was trying to catch the tornado mist with her hands. I was ahead of the group, and I left the last exhibit after a few minutes because it looked like it was just stuff on screens, and I have screens at home. Anyway, after waiting in the cafe for like 10 minutes and still no sign of the fam, I began to wonder what was taking so long. As it turns out, had I been patient, I would have witnessed a stunning multimedia finale that took the viewer on a journey through art history and who knows how many other glories untold. There was a very obvious no re-entry sign on the door, and I had a very difficult beg for forgiveness or ask for permission decision to make. I couldn't stomach the idea of getting yelled at for disrespecting my favorite country in the world, so I explained my plight to the cafe attendant, hoping she would have mercy. She did not. I sat back down in the cafe to wait, and then about 5 minutes later she came over to me and said, "Order, please." So I said, "Okay," then left and went to the gift shop because I was mad at her and didn't want to give her my custom.
Oh, none of his markings showed up. take it back now, y'all.
Our afternoon was spent chasing down various spots of interest, including the hotel from Crash Landing on You, the steps and rooftop from Fight for My Way, and the cafe owned by Jimin's dad.
Is that Jimin up there too?
Naturally, the cafe was full of holy relics brought before the altar by BTS fans. Being a BTS fan is a very Catholic experience. Contrary-wise, being a Taylor Swift fan is a very Protestant experience, and I won't be explaining myself further at this time.
What is this?
Oh,
We could leave him an offering.
I thought this was a note from him.
Oh, no, sorry.
너도 기억하니 우리 첫 만남이 수줍고 어색했던 그때 문득 돌아보니 어느새 여기까지 함께 걸어왔던 거야 때론 넘어져 울기도 하고 서로의 어깨에 토닥여주고 눈물로 겨울 저 바라보며 서로의 이름을 불러줬지 6월 13일 그날부터 오늘의 지금까지 너와 나 Even if you're not here 같은 자리에 always Don't have to worry now 잠시 손을 놓지만 작은 쉼표일 뿐인걸 Just call my name out loud 다시 보랏빛 물들 그날 Cause anytime you want me I'll be right here where you call me I'll be Can never let you go Never let you go Whenever you need me I'll be
Hey, no public intoxication. What's wrong with you ladies? Blessed are the inspirer, for they will see God. Anger. Targer. Cactus.
난 너의 기억이 다 지워질까봐 마음에 새겨두어
Here, show us the poor bear that's being eaten from the feet up.
My pterodactyl. Corrie, step that way just a little bit so I can see the cute little boy. Now go that way some. Get out of my way. Oh my goodness, so cute. Don't forget Leah's.
Here, everybody quiet. Okay. Kim Namjoon, Kim Seokjin, Min Yoongi, John Ho-seok,
Park Jimin, Kim Tae-young,
Jung Jungkook, BTS.
We had an early start as we had been told by our tour guide to be ready for pickup at 7:30. However, at around 7, at which time we were up and at 'em and emotionally preparing ourselves to walk down the hill, he texted to say he had to pick up a last-minute booker before us and could we be picked up at 8:15. So, cut to our 8:15 pickup, for which he is late, and arrives with an empty van. The folks who had booked last minute were, allegedly, no-shows.
Allegedly.
We then became further delayed, collecting other tourists from their hotels, which was mostly due to the tourists not being so up and at 'em as we had been, standing on the corner ready to jump into the van while it was still moving if need be. Anyway, we were now setting off about 2 hours later than originally planned. Now this is where things get interesting. One would think there would be a few empty seats in the van, where the alleged no-shows that had made our tour guide late should have sat. However, the van was full. So, were there ever any no-shows, or had our tour guide simply overslept?
Much to discuss, much to process, much to think about.
Have there ever been any cars plummet?
Stop.
Our tour guide compensated for the late start by hurtling from point A to point B whenever we were moving on foot. To be fair, our Airbnb host and the DMZ tour guide were also hurdlers, so perhaps it is just the cultural speed. I myself am a hurdler, for that matter. He hurdled us down to our first stop, a Buddhist temple by the sea, then said, "You kids have fun and I'll see you in an hour." Again, I paraphrase, but he was definitely not much of a helicopter parent, and at times I think we would have liked a bit more guidance. Now, when exploring a Buddhist temple, what's a good Christian Ajima to do but pray the powerful name of Jesus over the place that the inhabitants might know true freedom in Christ? This is exactly how Beth was spending her internal monologue as she wandered the premises. Presently, she walked up to some very roughly hewn stone steps to an overlook, and at this time she fell and gashed her shin open. Beth works hard, but the powers and principalities of darkness, it would seem, were working harder. There was a somewhat uncertain but very well-meaning first aid team on site. They got her cleaned up and bandaged, but it was pretty evident that she was going to need stitches. Now begins a saga which, I fear, is just one big L for the Korean healthcare system. Our tour guide was very helpful in getting her and Leah, going along for moral and language support, to a taxi to the hospital, but when they got there, everyone was on their lunch break. After waiting about an hour, she was finally examined and told she needed stitches, but the stitches guy wasn't there that day. Now, I'm no healthcare professional, but shouldn't every guy be the stitches guy? Like, if they didn't teach you stitches in nursing school, what exactly did they teach you?
Here, show us the poor bear that's being eaten from the feet up. Luckily, he's dead.
During this time of great trial for the two Ajimas, the rest of us went to the most magical tea house and explored the bamboo forest where they filmed King Eternal Monarch and Moon Lovers. Beth and Leah broke out of the hospital and rejoined us for the sky capsule that toodles along the coast. This was a pure delight. People frequently ask me what is my favorite country I've ever been to. It was while gliding along in the sky capsule that I realized the answer is Korea. Papa Tour Guide met us at the other end of the track, ushered us into a seafood restaurant, then disappeared. To be fair, this was because one of the families on our tour had accidentally been left behind at the sky capsule and he had to go rescue them. Anyway, it is too bad that he didn't stay to hold our hands through the seafood lunch process because it was extremely harrowing. Basically, everything was still alive when it came to the table, and we watched the lady cook it to death before our very eyes. I now know that had I been around during the time of the Nazis, I would have stood by and done nothing, because I watched these creatures die before my eyes and I just sat there in horrified silence. We ate them, of course, otherwise their sacrifice would have been in vain. They were delicious. Papa Tour Guide's final gift to our family, and the reason I didn't leave him an honest review, was that after ditching the younger kids at the night market, he took the Ajimas to another hospital to see if they could get stitches there. They could not.
If you can, go to higher ground.
You know BTS?
We had shifted our original Busan dates back one day so we could get back to Seoul in time for the free BTS concert. Now, that's not to say any of us had succeeded in getting a ticket for the concert, just that we had moved our dates just in case. Also, we knew that even without tickets, we wanted to be as near to the action as we could. Our journey back to Seoul went well, and we spent the train ride listening to the new album to prepare our hearts and minds for the evening.
1, 2, 3, 4. I'm fine. Does everybody know who they are? Yes.
Yes,
I'm
let's
after
go.
Mom. Okay. Kim Namjoon,
Kim Seok-jin.
Min Yoon-gi, Jung Ho-suk. No, do it on the bottom. That's fine. Sorry. Yes, start over. It's fine. I got in trouble last time. No. Okay. Kim Namjoon,
Kim Seok-jin.
Min Yoon-gi, Jung Ho-suk, Park Jimin,
Kim Tae-young.
Jung Jungkook.
BTS.
We already went through it twice.
Okay.
You move diagonally, but do not get trapped by a wall or a barricade or anything that or in a corner. And then keep moving with the crowd. If you can, go to higher ground. Car, anything that's higher ground, but do not get stuck against a solid object.
What happens if you do?
If you
get
fall,
crushed flat.
Get up as quickly as you can. If you cannot get up, curl up into a ball.
And protect your vital organs.
Yes. And keep your head down because your head will likely get stepped on.
Yeah.
But curl in a ball, in a tight ball, and get up as soon as you have an opportunity. You may.
After a pit stop at the Airbnb, I followed the Ajumas into the elevator just in time to witness this interaction. Lynn presses the emergency button. Beth, why did you do that? Lynn, I really don't know. We met up with a friend of Blake's, please note her adorable tweed suit, to gaze upon the mural celebrating the 10th anniversary of BTS. I do not follow BTS, so I felt like a mom going around saying things like, "Do you want me to take your picture with them?" and, "Well, they seem like nice young men."
Video.
Vegetable. And this has some salady looking stuff. And this? People thinking I didn't think Koreans left messes like this. And then I saw this older man piling it all together, and I thought,
Several ladies where we were.
Several ladies. Because you guys had a box.
Yeah, they found a box and started putting it in there.
So cool.
A nation of Jody Maguires.
And where were you putting yours? Were you putting it into a receptacle, just putting it into a pile?
Almost perfect. And then hit number 2.
Okay.
Well,
Picture of that? Please tell me you're taking a picture of that.
go.
Kim Namjoon,
Kim Seok-jin.
Min Yoon-gi, Jung Ho-suk, Park Jimin,
Kim Tae-young.
Jung Jungkook, BTS. Sorry,
Almost
I was
perfect.
the weakling that time.
Devout disciples that we are, we had assigned Mom the role of finding a real live Korean church we could attend on Sunday morn. After strenuous research, she found some Presbyterians she liked the look of. Then we saw that there was an international church at the foot of our hill in Myeongdong, and we went there instead. It was a very modern and stylish place, complete with coffee shop in lobby. The sermon was on mammon, which is very relevant because Korea has some of the best mammon I have ever seen. However, while I did spend the entire sermon worrying that God was going to ask me to sacrifice the dupes of earrings Suga had once worn, which I had previously spotted in Mimi line, I eventually decided I would take a let me eat all the food in the house first and then I can start my diet approach.
I don't, but I don't really need one. I got the same thing as him. Yes.
These are the wild vegetables over here.
In the afternoon, we went to the National Museum of Korea, which was full of good-looking couples on dates. It's really the ideal date because it's free. You can fool your date into thinking you are cultured and erudite, and you don't even have to talk to each other that much. We then made our way toward Banpo Bridge for a BTS-themed lights show. This turned out to be the regular lights show, but with BTS songs playing faintly from one distant speaker. Corrie and I went on a stressful errand to obtain Han River ramen, and 2 packed and ransacked convenience stores later, we made it back just in time for the show.
I think. And then hit number 2.
Okay.
It's good?
Yay! Thank you. I know, but what can you do?
Are you taking a picture? Here, do you want my royal milk tea with it? Are you taking a picture of that? Please tell me you're taking a picture of that.
There we go.
난 너의 기억이 다 지워질까봐 마음에 새겨둬 너를 볼 수 없게 될까봐 시간이 늘 두려워 다시 너를 찾아봐
Kim Namjoon, Kim Seokjun, Min Yoongi, John Ho-suk. That boy that I know. Start again. What do you mean? I'm so sorry. Quick. Kim Young-joon.
Our main event of the day was a tour of NBC studios. They produced such favorites as My Dearest and When the Phone Rings. It was so fun. They fed us candy the whole time and gave us scripts as a souvenir. Our tour guide was a very enthusiastic ajushi who asked to be referred to as Professor Joe. Our translator was a gentle and organized young man. In the morning, before I had had caffeine, I thought, our translator is so nice. After my afternoon coffee, I was like, I am in love with our translator and I don't know what I will do without him. We got to watch a scene of a soap opera being filmed, and one of the actors was in Moon Lovers, which Corrie and Mom had both just watched. Extremely thrilling. They also film quite a few live concert events, and we got to see a soundstage where Stray Kids frequently perform. They also took us past the green room for Stray Kids. I went to take a peek inside, and I saw a Bumblebee costume in the closet.
Let's go.
Now take a picture of your mother.
그대 생각이 튕기면 두 눈을 감아 봅니다. 선명한 그대 모습에 살며시 웃어 봅니다.
Wow.
Corrie and Alyssa had booked an appointment to be thoroughly scrubbed, but more on that later. The rest of us had asked to be dropped off in Hongdae because we are
Open mind.
Here, I diverged from the group. I had heard tell of a bold and unique twist on a cat cafe where they had all sorts of animals, including meerkats and foxes, that one could pet. In truth, it was more indoor petting zoo and not really cafe at all, as most countries' restaurant regulations don't let you eat and drink while you handle animals.
Health and safety gone mad, dear.
It was also stanky as heck in there. I always forget animals are pungent. I began to have reservations about going in, but I thought, no, this is my one chance in life to hold a fox. I'm gonna hold a fox. My other highlight was the raccoons. The handlers would have you hold out your hands, and then the raccoons were trained to place their little hands on top of yours. Then the handler would say, patty patty, and the raccoon would pat your hands. Incredible experience. Later on, one of the raccoons was coughing and wheezing like it was choking and had to receive a few pats on the back to clear its passages.
Hello, sir.
We all spent much time on Instagram preparing for this trip, and the scrolly spirit brought to Alyssa and I many reels of people receiving Korean body scrubs. The premise is you soak in a hot tub, then are thoroughly scrubbed all over by a Korean ajumma. We were feeling very brave and strong, and so decided this was something we would like to experience. In the waiting room, we were presented with flavor options for both our baths and our drinks. While waiting, the receptionist asked if we were nervous. This should have been our first clue. We were escorted to extremely tiny curtained spaces to disrobe and re-robe in the provided robes. We were then taken to 2 rooms that were right off the main space where other spa-goers were going about their business. Before the scrub, we thought that was unsettling. Turns out it was the least of our worries. Upon entering our rooms, we were each assigned an ajumma who, with complete nonchalance, disrobed us and firmly deposited us into a tub that had clearly been heated by the fires of hell. And it had even been cooled to accommodate the weak foreigners. I am ashamed to say, when she asked if I needed it even cooler, I had to say yes. I was then left to boil for the assigned time. The ajumma then returned and disrobed herself, revealing her very elegant and matching undergarments. As one unaccustomed to a culture comfortable with nudity, I spent the next hour trying to keep from bursting out laughing. I was placed on a table and then splashed with a bucket of water, reminiscent of a fish counter being washed off, of a beached whale being kept alive until the tide came in. I was then scrubbed everywhere, in every fold and crevice. Alyssa and I have both borne children, and neither of us have ever been so naked. Navigating my limbs being moved about with more nakedness than has ever been by someone to whom I could only say 감사합니다 and 미안해요 was simply one of the most wild times I have ever had. My ajumma was extremely kind and patient, and while she clearly did not share my lack of familiarity with group nudity, she was very matter-of-fact and businesslike about the whole thing, even helping me to put on the disposable underwear that was provided to me before our facial. We then had a glorious facial and emerged new women, both emotionally and physically, with the skins of dolphins.
We went for dinner at a dakgalbi establishment, which 2 sisters had been running for 15 years. They glided about serenely in the midst of the busy restaurant, experts at their craft. Auntie Lynn almost fell off her stool, and the man we had been making small talk with at the neighboring table said, "It looks like a BTS performance." Then there was a small treat at the cafe across the street and a quest to find a sweatshirt. We had seen a guy wearing this hoodie and liked it. Then later I had seen it for sale on Hongdae Shopping Street. Corrie wanted to buy it, and since we all move as a pack, we all went on the quest. However, I got myself totally turned around trying to find my way back to it, and there were also several derailments as the call of Mammon lured my associates into various shops. In the end, we did find the sweatshirt. Then it was on to marathon BTS songs at the noraebang spot.
난 너의 기억이 다 지워질까봐 마음에 새겨둬 나를 벗어나게
Do you want me to?
시간이 두려워 다시 너를 찾아봐 꼭 이렇게
Much like myself in 2023, Corrie started this trip not being a BTS fan. Also, much like me, this was soon to change. I went into the kitchen on this morning to find her scrolling through BTS reels on Instagram and saying, "I don't have time to adopt 7 more boys." Gentle viewer, she is currently creating an itemized Pinterest database to document all the outfits they are wearing on tour. There was to be another shopping spree that morning, and as I was dangerously close to running out of money and suitcase room, I decided to remove myself from the situation. I wanted to find a charming Hanok cafe where I could work on our travel journal, but the Hanok cafe I found was busy and playing stressful jazz music, so I bounced. I ended up at a chain, which I didn't love, but such is life. Next, I took a little walk around this stream to meet up with the fam. I saw a get-together of several special needs people and their guardians out for a walk together. It was very nice. I found the Ajumas and Unnies going absolutely buck wild at a fancy tea room, which resulted in carrying massive boxes of patisserie around the city for the rest of the day. We journeyed on to Insadong for more bespoke artisanal mammon and custom stamps as seen on Instagram. While the Ajumas continued to shop, the Unnies and I found a quiet Hanok cafe and sat in the second floor window eating walnut cookies and people watching.
Thoughts? Feelings? It's fine. It doesn't taste like meat.
We finished our evening with a food tour. I cannot say enough about our tour guide. There are people you will meet in this life who have English as their second language, who have mastered it so completely that merely saying they have really good English sounds like an insult. Our tour guide had learned the English language, perfected it, then turned around and said to it, "You work for me now." He spoke with a posh British accent, but like if someone was doing a posh British character, but not in a way that was annoying or performative. He told Alyssa, "I must say, the way you hold your chopsticks is impeccably schooled," which is, of course, the highest compliment a foreigner can receive from an actual Korean. Later, Corrie asked him how he felt about the world's obsession with Korean culture, if he was happy about it or if he wished people would just back off and cool their jets. He responded, with a swish of his blue trench coat, "I simply don't care."
Slimy, can you get the tentacle moving on that side?
It does seem
Whoa.
a shame to not.
Oh, he don't want to focus. Hang on.
So, this particular
Do you want me to?
there was a lady.
Oh.
I know, but then there's this is not gonna happen.
Oh, I thought we dropped
He
it.
said, shoot it. Okay, get a video of me doing this.
Okay.
Here.
Okay,
Yeah.
Shoot.
Corrie, you are live.
here we go.
On the side.
Chew it up good.
She couldn't.
Oh, here. I'll take them.
How is it?
Very, 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 very chewy.
It's not the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth.
Okay.
I haven't swallowed it yet. I want to make sure that I chew it so it doesn't kill me.
If a tentacle suctions onto you, we're not exaggerating at all.
We ended our night in a traditional tea house, where we had to remove our shoes at the entrance. Mom, seeing a pair of Crocs nearby, assumed that they were the complimentary slippers and put them on, only to find out she had stolen them from an employee. Our tour guide gave us a breakdown of each tea and its properties. "This tea is especially good for the throat," he said, mispronouncing a word in English for the first time and quite frankly improving it by doing so. "The what?" said Beth from the other end of the table. "The throat," we whispered back. "Oh," she said. "Got anything that's good for the leg?"
Is there anybody behind?
This is what I came for.
I don't know. I am not.
Can we get you all on the couch?
An elbow in
Where are you going?
Head down. Elbow down.
I might have had some poop left on.
Oh, then they would have gotten.
What are we doing?
Being organic.
Oh my god, natural.
Organic. Gonna look like the hunchback up there. Like this. Alright, let's take a picture. I need my tag.
난 너에게 여기 다 지워질까봐 마음에 새겨둬
There you go.
나를 볼 수 없게 될까봐 시간이 늘 두려워
You shame it. I can take my clothes off now. Okay, go.
Kim Namjoon,
Kim Seokjin.
Min Yoongi.
John Ho-seok,
Park Jimin.
Kim Tae-young,
Jung Jungkook.
BTS. Oh, you can't wait. You can't see.
수문장 교대 의식이 잠시 후인 10시에 거행되어 오니 여러분께서는 흥예문 앞에 설치되어 있는
You want my destiny 그대 You want my destiny
Go.
Okay. Tell
Go.
us when. Kim Namjoon.
Kim Seokjin.
Min Yoongi.
John Ho-seok,
Park Jimin.
Kim Tae-young,
Jung Jungkook.
BTS. We had a private tour guide who took us around the palace and took lots of cute group photos for us. He had much lore to impart, and most importantly, he took us to get samgyetang at an amazing restaurant.
through the hallway like this. The first is place the motorist of life, and then place to stay here, and many of them from the scholars or
I have little else to add on this day, except that a cute young gentleman, not Korean tragically, sat next to me on the train and engaged me in conversation. This was heavily analyzed by the council immediately after, with some saying I should have given him my number and others pointing out that he was almost definitely about 8 years younger than me. What can I say? Nuna's still got it.
Hey Alyssa, I heard you were feeling a little run down. Would you like one of these?
Yeah, I really would.
Wow, the package is so easy to open. So convenient.
Now that's energy.
Leah, what you got there?
I've got some Capico. And look.
Me too!
Wow. This gives me energy. To shop.
Stamina.
Let's go shop.
I can take my clothes off now.
Immerse yourselves in the glories of television.
They're trying to distract you from the fact that
모든 게 궁금해할 때 tell me 뭐가 널 행복하게 하는지 text me
괜찮아.
going down the mountain.
난 너의 기억이 다 지워질까봐 마음에 새겨둬 너를 벗어나게 될까봐 시간이 두려워 다시 너를 찾아봐 또 이렇게
Do not kill her.
We won't let the viewers know that I used two because only one Maxim is strong. That's good.
Kim Jong-jun,
Kim Seok-jin,
Min Yoon-gi, John Ho-suk, Park Jin-min,
Kim Tae-young.
Jung Jung-kook.
BTS.
We had another lovely tour guide for our pilgrimage to stand where the members of BTS had once stood. The tour was the 7 of us, our tour guide, and 2 other young women, and it was excellent to blast arirang and generally girl out all day. We first took a long drive out of the city to see the MBC period drama film set where Suga filmed the music video for Digita. While cruising down the carpool lane, flying past the other lanes of traffic which were backed up to a standstill, our tour guide said, "When I'm in this lane, I feel like a winner."
보고 싶다 이렇게 말하니까도 보고 싶다 널 사진을 보고 있어도 보고 싶다 너무 약속한 시간 나는 우리 다 잊어가고 전체 힘들어진 우리가 저기 온통 겨울뿐이야 8월에도 겨울이 와 마음은 시간에 달려가네 홀로 남은 설국 열차 네 손잡고 지구 반대편까지 가 겨울을 보내봐 그리움들이 얼마나 눈치를 내려야 그 봄날이 올까
She's ready. Someone smack her.
Oh, great.
On the booty.
Oh, here's some rope.
I'm gonna actually do that.
Our most important and memorable stop on the BTS pilgrimage was the restaurant they used to go to when they were poor little trainees all living together in a crowded dorm. After 14 straight hours of rehearsal, or whatever MGM studio-style torture it is that they put these children through, they would retire to the restaurant in the building's basement where they would be fed bibimbap by a gentle Catholic woman who became like an adopted mother to them. How do I know she is a gentle Catholic woman? Because, gentle viewer, we met her. An honor that is second only to meeting an actual member of BTS. The crucifixes mingled amongst the BTS memorabilia on her walls tipped me off first, and then the Holy Spirit radiating out of her even from a distance confirmed it. Before long, we were all embracing, and Beth and Lynn were showing her pictures of their grandchildren. It was a great comfort to all of us to meet her, as we were all deeply parasocially concerned about the spiritual well-being of each BTS member, and we take heart in the fact that they have at least been fed with her delicious pork and rice bowl Eucharist.
Ready?
No. I don't.
Ready?
Chris is over there.
Are we getting out the boys?
No.
Oh.
No, we don't have him. That's okay. Go away. Okay.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Kim Namjoon,
Kim Seokjin.
Min Yoongi.
John Ho-seok,
Park Jimin.
Kim Tae-young.
Jung Jungkook.
BTS.
Oh, it's golden hour. It's pink hour.
I split from the group once more on this evening to see a very weird but very good play. Every solo adventure I had I enjoyed immensely, but I would also have not recommended to a single other person on the trip with me. Anyway, there was a girl near me fully filming the pre-show entrance thing on her phone. She was duly chided, but I half expected her to be asked to leave.
Mama's here to pick you up from daycare.
Are we waiting?
Boys?
Are we doing it in here?
Emerge the boy.
No, we don't have to put it up.
You know BTS.
Okay.
Go.
Kim Namjoon,
Wait, hang on. Go.
Kim Namjoon,
Kim Seokjin.
Min Yoongi, John Ho-seok, Park Jimin,
Kim Tae-young.
Jung Jungkook.
BTS.
Will you stay? 흘러가는 저 시간 잡아두고 싶어. With me. Where you go? 어떤 얼굴을 하고 서 있을까? 이제 기억나지 않는 새벽들. Say, I'm running one in the days. We've been working so many ways. 가슴이 터질 것 같아. Can't you see the take two stories unfolding just for you? 너와 함께하는 청춘 지금 내 손을 잡아. Yeah, we never felt so young. Why do they not sing this song? 서로에는 맞추며 어둠 속에도. Yeah, we never felt so right. Running got you by my side. 함께 걷던 길 따라. Oh, we're young forever.
Oh no, she can't have her drink in the store. Whatever will she do? Wow.
Hey, we haven't had Subway here.
Yeah. Okay, Mama's here to pick you up from daycare.
Look at the flowers. Look at the flowers.
Hurry. Yeah, they're just about.
Are we in a hurry?
Okay.
Wait. Leah literally has
She
a
can-
shoe in the air.
Ready.
Kim Namjoon,
Kim Seok-jin.
Min Yoongi.
John Ho-suk, Park Ji-min.
Kim Tae-young.
Jung Jungkook.
BTS. Go.
How fast can we
Go, go, go.
go? Kim Namjoon,
Kim Seok-jin.
Min Yoongi.
John Ho-suk, Park Ji-min.
Kim Tae-young.
Jung Jungkook.
BTS.
They walked right down the stairs and straight into vehicles.
Stage dance. There it is.
In our attempt to get back to the square that we might again stand where BTS once stood, we ended up on a packed bus. This was unpleasant enough, but it was also hotter than Hades in there. I was usually thrilled to be on a well-heated Korean bus, as in England, the next ice age could be starting and they would still have all the windows on the bus open. However, this seething mass of people could have done with a little fresh air. The Koreans did not seem to feel this way. "That woman is broiling in her pouch," remarked Corrie, referring to a lady near us in a giant pink coat. We survived the bus, kissed the ground where BTS once stood, then had another $10 Michelin star meal. After this, I accidentally left the entire family behind at the bus stop. It's not an interesting story, just I got on first and they had some issues with their cards, so everyone else decided to stay together, except I didn't realize this until the Maw of the Beast had been sealed. All was well in the end, except that this was our final night in Korea, so
in a much more real sense,
all would never be well again.
난 너에게 여기 다 지워질까봐 마음에 새겨둬.
You can always tell when I've been bored and alone on a plane because I take way more notes on things that happened that day. I flew China Southern to London with a layover in Beijing. On the first, rather short flight from Seoul to Beijing, they served us an enormous breakfast, then started whipping our trays out from underneath us about 5 minutes later. My deranged past self had chosen a middle seat. I think the row must have been empty when I booked, and I had hoped that I could sort of hog the row and no one would choose to be near me. I was foiled by the age-old trick of it being a full flight.
You fell victim to one of the classic blunders!
However, fortune was smiling on me, as it had when I had departed Vietnam, because the two ladies in my row were friends and wanted to sit together. This placed me squarely in the aisle seat, a seat I shall never betray again. One thing about me is that I'm going to camp out in the airport bathroom and do my toilette. While this was happening, a cleaning lady was working her way down from the opposite end of the counter, pulling trash out of the counter trash holes with a pair of tongs. As she approached my area, with my stuff strewn across the countertop, she gave the counter near me a definitive smack of the tongs to indicate it was time to move. Soothing instrumental music was being played in the terminal, and I quickly recognized it as a Christian hymn. This was obviously an accident on the part of the Great People's Republic, but there you have it, the Lord will find a way. On my flight from Beijing to London, the Kdrama I was watching was making me cry. I didn't want the other girl in my row to see, but after a while I heard sniffs and realized she was also watching her dramas and crying. Solidarity.
사람들은 말해 세상이 다 변했대 다행히도 우리 사이는 아직 여태 안 변했네 늘 하던 시작과 끝 안녕이란 말로 오늘과 내일 또 함께 이어보자고 멈춰있지 마 어둠에 숨지 마 빛은 더 떠오르니까 끝이 보이지 않아